what you gonna do, brother? We about to run wild with a style like no other. So somebody call Brodus Clay mother and tell her Richard Runz are the men like Ed Lover and Doc Dre. What Scott say, what they hang on every word like it's something that the Rock say. No JR, but they talking wrestling. We bring the noise with the boys, so we Dalton Castling. So masculine, oozing machismo, mutton chop shop, Gran Turismo. No free throws, snarl hoops and heels. It's D-Bron's retirement, give you the super feels. Straight shoot, it's real. Drop a pipe bomb, get ready to bull like the Rock's right arm. So stay calm, tranquilo. I'll go Naito and give him Destino. And we know that you chumps ain't ready for the heartbreak runs and the Cuban Genetti. They drop it heavy, tag team it like Teddy. Long go strong with the heat like Eddie. So steady like when Taker walked the tightrope. Spaz like Taz with the mic in a tight choke. Dirtiest player in the game with the eye poke. 1988 Macho Man on a line of coke. These other cats are a waste, they boring. Illegitimate sons like Jason Jordan. And Richard Runz never give him respect unless they going on air with a broken frickin' neck. So bounce like Papa Pump's pecs. Every time they get down, they bound to catch wreck. Y'all don't know nada, they the Okadas. You're the Washington Generals, they the Globetrotters. A whole lot of podcasts in the scene, but Richard Runz running wild is the cast of your dreams. So it seems these two is too sweet. Bullet Club pulling up with schemes to delete. So retreat, we steal, we cheat, but I never lie, I swear on these beats. And these two got some styles for you, but what you gonna do when they run wild on you?
Do you want to let everyone know that you get it? Do you not want to be a Melvin? Well, then listen to the Running Wild podcast. And if you don't, you know what you are.
I'm the last real man, Silas Young. And if you're any kind of man, you'll be listening to the Running Wild podcast.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Running Wild Podcast. I'm your co-host, Rich. Alongside me, as always, my co-host, Runz.
Yes, sir.
All right, we got a huge week of wrestling to talk about with a running theme on Raw of trash for the 3 hours. And then we have a little bit of action on Smackdown. And it really feels like this week is WWE going, wow, we're not used to having this much time between pay-per-views. Because, well, also the illnesses are probably hurting, but it really seems like it was a rough week all around, except for NXT.
Yeah, it was the continuation of the build to Survivor Series, and I don't really have any problem with that. There's no need to rush anything right now, or hot shot anything before the pay per view. So I was fine with it. You had Braun coming back. There were some things that were absolutely atrocious, such as Kane beating Finn Balor last week, taking out Daniel Bryan, and beating Seth Rollins, and then taking out Dean Ambrose this week. What the fuck are you doing, WWE? Like that, it makes no sense.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that makes sense, I guess, is that they're building Kane up to face Braun Strowman.
Yes, but this guy just came back. He's 90 years old. He's running for mayor, and you're having him beat every single young guy that you have.
I mean, what they should have done was, I think more believable is bring Kane back as Mayor Kane with 3 political aides who are just dudes for the Performance Center, and have them fuck everybody up.
Do the whole South Park thing, like Kane has AIDS.
Oh, terrible. No, I just meant, I literally mean they could have it would have almost been bigger for me if he does that. Then,
yeah, I mean,
it's
just...
because do we need this Kane to be legitimized in our eyes?
No, he's Kane. He's whatever. He could have just came back and fought Strowman, and everything would have been fine. There's no need to have him run through everyone on the roster that you're trying to build up.
I mean, the only thing that would make me excited...
He could face jobbers. It doesn't matter.
The only thing that would make me excited about this Kane run, it just seems like such an absolute waste of these guys, but at the end of the day, I don't know, aside from a couple of guys, does anybody really... the wins and losses are just equally divided. It doesn't even seem to matter anymore. Like, does it matter that Kane beat them?
But it doesn't matter because of things like this. And that's the problem that they've had for years, is they don't build up the guys like Dolph and Cody and Bray. And then when you need them, you can't get them. So, they're not big enough at that point. So, that it's just a shame that wins and losses don't really matter. And, guys don't have to go through the things they used to and win the IC title or be in a tag team and win those. And then, they're moving up slowly. But, it's a different time, and that's not the way they've been doing things, and they're paying for it, So they feel the need to have guys like Kane and Cena and Orton and all those guys in huge spots, because those are the last stars that they have.
I just don't know how they're messing up. I don't think Knock looks very strong. He was huge in NXT, and I don't think he's coming over as strong since his call up. It seems like even when they're developing talent in NXT, you have guys down there who are doing amazing work right now. And, Drew McIntyre, Cassius Ohno, Bobby Roode, the Undisputed Era. Those guys are all more exciting than some of the options we have on the main shows. But I feel like they'll screw it up. They'll somehow make it so that Drew McIntyre isn't a big deal.
But, see, you always do this. You choose to focus on the Nakamura's that, haven't necessarily clicked right away, and ignore the Bobby Roodes that click immediately, or the Owens and the Zanes and, all that stuff that has worked out from NXT. Of course, there's going to be the guys that don't work out. It always is, from ROH, from New Japan, from wherever. But, focus on the guys that have worked out, and they outnumber the guys who haven't.
It's weird because I almost don't even consider Sammy, and I know they were in NXT, and I know we saw them in NXT, but when I forget that when I say things haven't worked out, I think I almost completely forget Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, because I just feel like they were supposed to be main roster from the beginning.
Right, but don't forget, when Owens was signed, he was told, don't get your hopes up. You're an NXT guy. So, they didn't have the same visions that the rest of the world did for Kevin Owens at first. And, luckily it worked out, but, that's the way it goes.
I'm just... When I see photos of Triple H joining the Shield, we had Kurt Angle in the Shield, we have Kane coming back and getting victories over two young guys. It just is a little confusing to see what's going on. That's all.
But that's Triple H is because they're on the UK tour and they need to have the big star there. And with Roman getting hurt, they needed someone to fill in that spot. So I'm fine with that. The same goes with Angle. It's not like these guys are coming back and necessarily taking spots. They're kind of just filling in when needed. And, with Angle captaining the Survivor Series team, I don't have a problem with that either, because it's the brand thing. And if him and Shane can wrestle, then that's great. I'm looking forward to that.
All right. What did you think of Raw up and down? Do you like the Braun coming out of the garbage truck stuff?
Yeah, it was whatever. I was kind of half paying attention to some of it, so I missed a little bit of Miz finding the garbage bag or whatever. And once I saw all that, it's like, oh, well, obviously it's Braun. I wish they would have teased that a little more. But yeah, I was fine with it. Braun is super over still, so that's fun to see. But, he's getting his revenge for getting thrown in there, and Kane will be the next.
and then Kane's gone, right? That is just, he's back for this, and then he's going to go back for mayor because there's an election next Tuesday.
I assume so. Yeah.
Is he? Okay, so the Survivor Series teams got worked out this week. or the captains are named, right? Kurt Angle's the captain for SmackDown, and Shane's the captain for Raw. So they're wrestling captains, right?
Yes.
Okay. So who else gets added?
Well, it's Braun. He's added. It'll be Joe. It'll be Balor. Right, that's 3. And I believe Roman, if he's back. And then it'll be... SmackDown is pretty much set. It's Nakamura, Bobby Roode. AJ's going to get in there next week unless he wins the title. And someone else got added.
Randy Orton
Yeah, there you go.
and Rusev.
Rusev is fighting AJ next week. And AJ will win that, like I said, unless he wins the title.
Oh, weird. Wikipedia is, I guess, someone's jumping the gun and assuming that Rusev is winning because he's actually listed here on the team. So it's like basically...
Well, maybe that means AJ's winning the title from Jinder. I don't know.
It's basically faces. Oh my God. Imagine... See, I just can't even... I can't imagine AJ beating Jinder for the title. Just because what would Jinder do? Now he's off the Survivor Series card?
Pop for steroids or something. Who knows?
That would be most ridiculous if the thing that takes
That would be
down
horrible.
Jinder is freaking steroids.
Yeah, that would suck.
I mean, I would like to laugh in Vince McMahon's face if Jinder Mahal is taking steroids. Because someone's like, this guy looks so jacked. Look at his veins. And now, like, he gets suspended for PEDs. That would be kind of ridiculous. Team Raw, they're not set yet, right? You have Alicia, for the women's, you have Alicia, Nia Jax, and then 3 others versus Becky Lynch, Charlotte, Naomi, Tamina, and Carmella. With James Worth.
Everyone else on SmackDown.
Well, not Lana.
Yeah, well, she's with Tamina.
Oh, well, true. And I don't know. I mean, I guess I'm happy that we're getting 2 Survivor Series matches. Miz is doing some good work heading into it, but I don't care about Miz and Corbin. Obviously, maybe something will happen next week that'll get me more excited for it, but I'll be honest, like, November hit and it's 71 degrees, and I don't feel like Survivor Series is getting me that excited right now, so I feel like WWE has some work to do next week to get us more excited for the event.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to it from what they've done so far. I'm a fan of the brand versus brand thing, so I'm looking forward to it.
I don't know. I mean, I don't like Orton beating Steen and Owens and Zayn back to back. I mean, I know it was under weird circumstances, but like, what are they gonna do? Are they off Survivor Series? Are they gonna be on the freaking pre-show?
Yeah, I mean, they'll do something. They'll get involved somehow. It's too big of a storyline now. They can say Shane screwed them or whatever the case. So I'm fine with that.
So do you think they maybe just come out and cost SmackDown the match?
Maybe.
Because I don't think they really have any brand loyalty.
No.
What did you think about Steph coming back?
I thought that was fine. It was a good wrinkle to the stuff with Angle that's been going on, and if he loses, he's done, or whatever she said. So that just adds another thing into the match.
I wonder if... See, that's why I almost wonder if Owens and Zayn help out, and then that saves Angle's job. Unless they're already ready to move on. I'm just kind of getting... I just want them to stick with... Like, I like that Bryan is probably always going to be the general manager until his contract is up, right? I don't like...
Well, he just got chokeslammed through a table and taken out on the stretcher, so I'm not really sure about that.
I mean, I think he'll recover in a week, no?
I don't think so. Maybe.
And then, so you have... Well, we had some releases this week. Kind of interesting. You had Emma being released. You had... I'm sorry.
Summer and Darren Young.
Summer and Darren Young. I mean, I don't think these. I mean, Emma was just kind of surprising because she was just in that. She was just, wrestling.
Yeah,
Asuka.
but from what I read, she pissed people off backstage. She wasn't well liked, so it was just a thing, I guess, of she made enough money where they wanted to free it up, and that was it.
Yeah, I mean, do you think she pops up anywhere? Do you think she just surfs around?
I mean, the Young Bucks tweeted her a Bullet Club shirt, but who the hell knows?
That would be unbelievable if that actually happened, but I don't think it's gonna go down that way. They actually just announced, Ring of Honor just announced that Rain from TNA is going to be in Ring of Honor now. So, I mean,
Madison Rain.
Yeah, I think they're adding more people, but so is it Madison Rain? I know it's Rain. I'm terrible with TNA stuff, so I think it's Madison Rain. She's going by Bonnie Maxon now, which is, I guess, her real name, most probably. But because Madison Rain is spelled Rayne, correct? Yeah, this is just Rain. So I don't know I don't know if you would know a little bit more about that, or maybe I'm crazy. Then I'm actually for some reason getting some old things coming up, so let's just look at SmackDown and we'll touch on Raw if I missed anything. I thought SmackDown was the better show this week overall. I mean, I don't know if it's just because I enjoy watching Owens and Zayn so much, or if it's just, again, the 2-hour thing. I liked Rusev versus Big E. I mean, the Sin Cara is... I mean, the Sin Cara match with Corbin was kind of surprising. He seems... I'm hearing like things that Sin Cara's like legit, like a badass or something. Like he's a shoot fighter, like for real. I don't know. Kind of weird to hear.
Yeah, no, I mean, we discussed and talked about that a few times when he beat up Simon Gotch or whoever the hell else he beat up. Or he punched Jericho, right, or something like that.
Yeah,
so,
that's right. So he's had some backstage stuff.
Yeah, he's a tough guy, and that's a real thing. So I also read that he recently signed a new contract, and that's part of the reason for the renewed push. And I'm fine with that. He got a new mask without the like horn things on it, but
yeah,
when he tried to cut the promo, it was inaudible because of the mask. So I don't know. They got to figure something out in terms of that, because he can speak English perfectly fine, Hunico. So let him talk, but you got to be able to actually hear and understand what he's saying.
Yeah, no, I like him. I'm just surprised. I mean, good for him getting a new contract. I'm not used to seeing a lot of Sin Cara on TV other than just getting.
He's a Spanish star, man. It's something they've been trying to recreate since they lost Del Rios or Rey Mysterio even. So it's always going to be a huge market and a need for them. So until they find someone else, and they're going to just keep trying to roll with the guys they have.
I mean, yeah, I got to say that does he not qualify for 205 Live?
I believe he does, but like I said, I think they have bigger hopes for him at the moment.
They just want to push him a little more than that?
Yeah.
All right. I wonder, who does he feud with? I mean, I'm trying to think of possibilities.
Maybe he beats Corbin, who knows?
And then it's Sin Cara versus Miz? Or you think after Survivor Series?
I'm not saying he beats him in the next week, but
I think that I'd rather see Sin Cara versus Miz than I would rather see.
No way.
Really?
No. Sin Cara, really?
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of like him. Sans
you just
horns.
said you didn't understand this push and all that.
Oh,
stuff,
I was confused by it because
I'd rather see him fight for the
hold on.
US
I
title.
love the Lucha Dragons. All right, Make no mistake about it.
Oh, right. Okay.
Just because they just do the lucha thing.
Revisionist history.
Lucha. No, I've always liked the lucha chant, so I don't think you can even say anything about that.
Okay.
But back to Raw for a second. I was happy to see Samoa Joe return. That was pretty awesome.
Right. And I like what they're doing. I think that's my biggest thing about the Survivor Series thing. Yeah, there's only one male team match, but the guys that are in it are the right guys. You know, Nakamura, Bobby Roode, Samoa Joe. Like, those are the guys that should be in this match. Finn Balor. So I'm happy for that. I think they got it right, at least focusing on the 8 guys that they did.
Are you? How do you like? I know you like Elias. Do you walk with him?
Yeah, like I don't know. It's weird because like the gimmick is cool and all that kind of stuff, but in the ring he hasn't really done it for me yet. I haven't been, he hasn't had like that standout match or anything like that, and I'm not sure that ever comes. But I don't know. So I'm kind of just lukewarm about it at the moment. Jordan still doesn't get any real reaction from the crowd, and that's a bit of a shame. But that's the hole they dug themselves in.
Oh man, how long do you think before maybe he goes heel? Do you think they keep going? I mean,
I would have assumed there was weeks ago, but now they're just going with the, babyface stuff, throwing vegetables at Elias and feuding with him. So I don't know.
I mean, I feel, I don't know. I don't even know if I think that Jason Jordan ever really got up to the level that they thought he would once it was announced. Like, he lost that shine real quick.
Right. He wasn't, he's somebody that could be a star, right? He has the look, he's talented enough, but he wasn't ready to be on his own in this spotlight yet, and everyone knows that. So when you break up the tag team, that's fine. You give him the push. All right, that's great. There should have been a reason for the breakup or for at least anything, like that led to like, now it's revealed he's Kurt Angle's son. They had some history anyway, blah, blah, whatever. But, to kind of just throw him into this with no build, nothing. Why should people care? And they continue to throw him in matches with all the top guys, and people resented that. So they pay for it, and now he's working his way up from the bottom.
The thing with Jordan is, I know people boo Elias because of the things he says about the town he's in and things like that, but I think people actually really like him. So they're not really supporting Jordan getting the better of him.
Yeah, I mean, he's got some type of reaction in the feud, but yeah, like people definitely like to sing and stuff or like to boo it, whatever the case.
I think Jordan would be he reminds me almost of Rocky Maivia.
Right.
Just
in the sense that, he's a guy who could be solid and is just getting rejected based on the look and the amount of white meat that is on that baby face.
I mean, he could very easily be the future savior of the Fast and Furious franchise like The Rock has been. So
doubt it, but
I don't know. Well, so what did you think? NXT, you got a chance to take a look at that, and you said it was a pretty strong show this week.
There was nothing else on SmackDown?
I'm trying to see if I'm missing anything. We had Rusev beat Big E, AJ beat Samir, which I didn't really...
The New Day stuff dressed up was hilarious.
Yeah, so it was Jimmy Hart, Xavier Woods was Jimmy Hart, Kofi was Brother Love, and Big E was Hakeem the African Dream. Just kind of amazing.
Yeah, it was fantastic. And Rusev in English, they always pair Rusev with these random guys, and I don't know, it's fine. Rusev is funny. This stuff is good with it in English. I know New Day and Rusev are boys, so I enjoy it.
Yeah, no, I love seeing more Rusev out there, And I mean, Big E can
the
lose.
Rusev Day, all that stuff is just great.
And I like Aiden
Rusev
English.
is so charismatic, right? And Aiden English has been solid. So, I like the pairing for now. Look, hey, it did wonders for Jinder. So, I'm fine with it.
Imagine Aiden English becomes a champion next before Rusev. That would be amazing. No. All right. So moving on to NXT. So the big announcement really is that they're going to have a WarGames at NXT Takeover. Is it San Antonio?
Houston.
It's the same state. So you're gonna have the Authors of Pain versus the Authors of Pain with Roddy versus the Undisputed Era versus Insanity. Who would you say? So the faces here are the Authors of Pain and Bobby Roode.
No, the Authors of Pain and Roddy and
I'm sorry, Roddy
are the baby faces, and Undisputed Era is the heels.
So being outnumbered, do you think that the Undisputed Era ends up walking out as champions?
I mean, well, I don't think it's for the tag titles.
Not the champions,
but
I keep misspeaking. Damn it.
I have to figure they steal the win here. I mean, Authors of Pain are definitely on their way out. Like they're headed to the main roster sooner than later. Sanity is set, and if Undisputed Era beats them, then they get a tag title shot or whatever down the line. That whole story. So that'll make sense. And yeah, so the rules of WarGames now. There's going to be 3 like Shark Tanks on the stage, I guess, or towards the ramp, and it'll be the triple threat to start it out, and then after 5 minutes, one team is released. So you gotta figure that Undisputed Era gets released first, right? And they have the 3-on-2 advantage for the next 3 minutes, and then another team will come in and whatever. Then they'll eventually be a little bit outnumbered, but I gotta assume that they're the ones getting the win.
Do you think we get the traditional top cage war games, 2 rings?
Yeah, he said 2 rings, 1 cage. So I wouldn't see why they would do it without taking it the full whole 9 yards.
Do you think this can live up to what everyone thinks WarGames was?
Yeah, I mean, as someone who's watched the WarGames back, they weren't all that good or exciting. But it's the spectacle. It's an awesome match. I like the 9 people involved, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
It's interesting because Tony Schiavone on the What Happened When podcast is always talking about one of the reasons he didn't like WarGames is because of the submission finish. He thought it was kind of flat, and you don't get a good pop at the end because it's a little confusing, especially with the cage. So I think the call to make this a pinfall only match is a smart move. I think it'll make it
pin or submission, but yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, well, because I know that's the one thing he was talking about, that he didn't like the submissions.
No, yeah, but they added the pinfall, so that's big, and that's how I assume Undisputed Era is going to sneak away with the win.
I sure hope so. I mean, I won't lie, I'm not very I end up falling behind with NXT a lot, and then I end up catching up weeks in, like I kind of binge watch it, like it's a Netflix show, and it's been really good. I mean, it's crazy how just a couple months ago it felt like they were kind of emptying out, and you have this match, and you're not even talking about the NXT champion. You're not even talking about Cassius Ohno. I mean, there's so many other guys on the roster that it's kind of insane.
This card, it'll be Almas and McIntyre for the title. It'll be the WarGames. It'll be Velveteen Dream and Aleister Black. So there's a lot of good stuff going on there that is definitely worth watching and checking out. And it's the same old story. They went through a little transition period when they had Nakamura as the champion and feuding with Rude and all that stuff, because those were really the two guys that they had, and they took the time to build up some of the other guys, and now people like Roddy and even Drew McIntyre, now that he's shown up, and all those guys are in a good position. So, they've brought in, 5 guys that are super talented, and it remains to be seen if there's any punishment for Rush. I'm assuming there will be, and Lord only knows what's going to happen with him there. But not the greatest way to start off your NXT run.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, with NXT, I feel like I give everything more hope there. I trust in the process for some reason. So, and how far is Ciampa from returning?
Can't be too far out. A week or two ago, almost fought Gargano, and Salida was wearing a DIY shirt again. So it can't be too long.
She's the worst. She's got to stop doing that. Well, this weekend there is a pretty big New Japan event, correct?
Yes. Power Struggle.
So what's going down on that card?
There's a bunch of chaos against LIJ and that sort of stuff to build up, to continue to build to Wrestle Kingdom, with Naito and Okada. So, that kind of stuff will be interesting. The Young Bucks are facing Titan, right? And Dragon Lee. So that'll be a good tag match. ACH and Taguchi are facing Sho and Yo, Roppongi 3K, in the tag finals, the junior tag finals. And they're already the junior tag champs, which is kind of crazy because, like I said to you earlier this week, they were guys that I didn't even know were with New Japan or on
excursion.
An excursion, right? So I wasn't even aware of that. I thought they were just 2 random Japanese guys who were kind of just whatever. So it's interesting to see them in a nice spot and with the whole Roppongi 3K gimmick, and it was pretty. It's a pretty cool gimmick. It's it is what it is. Rocky racks them out with his music, and so whatever. It's different. It was cool to see some fresh blood there, and whatever. So that'll be solid. But then it's Suzuki and Yano in a bull rope match for the never open weight. I'm a little worried that Yano somehow wins this because he shouldn't, and that would be like a huge upset and all that stuff.
Yeah, then they just announced Beretta's going to be facing against Omega, challenging Omega for the U.S. title.
Yeah, I mean that was on the card, but Beretta's been huge since he came back. I guess they changed his name from Trent to Beretta, which is kind of funny, but I like it. I think that's a perfect spot for him to be in. They're pushing him as a heavyweight and seem to have some high hopes for him, so that's kind of cool, and it'll be a fun match between them two. I can see Omega holding the title to Wrestle Kingdom, but I could also see Beretta coming away with the win here.
You really think he could actually win the title from Omega?
Yeah, I mean he's just starting a huge push. Beating Omega would be massive, and being the U.S. champ, it's not a world title. It's not, you know how New Japan is with their titles, and they have no problems switching them back and forth, taking them off people. So I could definitely see it. Omega can be in some type of other match with the Bullet Club, or some type of other single match. I think that would be fine.
Actually, Ring of Honor announced that for some of their Florida shows coming up, Omega's going to be there. And one night you're going to have Omega and the Bucks versus kind of a weird team, but it's Castle, Castle, Lethal, and King. I guess it's just like, former champ.
Well, I mean, I guess we can finish running down the New Japan card before we get into the Ring of Honor card, right?
Oh, I got sidetracked, yeah. I was just going to mention, like, 2 matches.
No, okay, good.
That one, and then the Bullet Club's going, Omega and the Bucks are going to team up against Rocky Romero, Chumbaretta, and Chucky Taylor, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of crazy that Omega's going to be there so much in the coming...
Right, so maybe that adds a little more fuel to him losing the U.S. title, but I don't know, not really, because Beretta will also be there anyway, so either way, it works.
So what else is going on in this New Japan card?
What is the other match?
Tanahashi Ibushi, did we talk about that one?
Well, I was going to save that one, because there's definitely one more main match that...
Ospreay Skrull?
There you go. Will Ospreay and Marty Skrull for the junior heavyweight title, which should be awesome. Those guys have a hell of a history, a hell of a rivalry. They killed it the first time in New Japan. Now Marty is super over, Ospreay is super over. That's going to be a hell of a lot of fun.
Ospreay doesn't drop it this quickly, though, right?
I don't believe so, but like I said, you never know with New Japan. But him winning it should stand for a little while. And then, like you jumped the gun on before, we had Tanahashi Ibushi for the Intercontinental title, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I just still can't believe you've got... I mean, Tanahashi's just... I mean, he's a rock star. And then Ibushi, he's just absurd. I mean, I've seen some crazy stuff that he's done. Like some kind of hardcore matchy stuff that he's done. He's insane.
See, here we go. This is where it can go either way. But Beretta wins, and then at Wrestle Kingdom, Ibushi beats Tanahashi, and then at Wrestle Kingdom, we get Ibushi versus Omega for the Intercontinental title.
Jeez.
Ibushi Omega, I'm not sure if you're aware, but they've been trying to push their own rivalry. They've been rivals in the past. They have a hell of a history, so that should be a huge match when it happens.
So is it definitely going to be... They're definitely positioning Naito to challenge Okada?
Yeah, Naito won the G1.
Okay, alright, that's right. Wow. Can't believe we're already mentioning Wrestle Kingdom. It's crazy that it's not that far away.
It's 2 months, yeah, it's crazy. And, Power Struggle is... I'm not sure if it's like the final big show before then. I would have to assume so. So, you'll get some nice things coming out of it, and then they'll have the road to Wrestle Kingdom and all that fun stuff going on.
You felt him...
Plenty more 6 and 10 man tags.
You buried the lead here. Taka Mikanoshu is on the card.
Yeah, of course.
I just can't believe that Taka Mikanoshu is wrestling. It's just unbelievable. It's funny because I get angry when Kurt Angle and Triple H are wrestling, but I'm like, yeah, Taka Mikanoshu.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Suzuki is also like 50, but, just the way that Japan has their stars positioned is just way better than the way that WWE
wait, but Suzuki's not even wrestling on the card.
Suzuki is wrestling Yano in the Bull Rope.
Oh, match. That's right. Oh, my God, he's gonna lose Yano because Yano's part of Chaos.
Yes,
Yano's good. Oh my God, Yano's gonna be a champion.
It's just such a Suzuki should kill him in the Bull Rope match, especially. But it's just one of those he's treating Yano as a joke, and so Yano's going to do something where he somehow gets the win.
How much money you want to bet that Yano pulls the rope from under Suzuki's legs and catches him in the balls?
A low blow. Yeah.
Oh man, and he ties him up.
Sounds about right.
All right. Do you have anything else you wanted to touch on this week?
Nah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah. All right. Well, I just want to thank you guys for joining. Make sure you guys head over and follow us on Twitter at Running Wild LWS and on Facebook at Running Wild on Facebook. Send us any comments, questions, anything like that, trivia to runningwildpodcast@gmail.com. You can follow me over at Rich_Laconi on Twitter, and you can check out my Ring of Honor coverage over at pwpodnews.com and rohworld.com, as well as lastwordonprowrestling.com. While you guys have a chance, please go rate, review, and subscribe. Really helps us out and pushes us up the rankings because we're slowly crawling up. We've been adding listeners every week, and we appreciate you guys joining us. So with all that out of the way, I just want to remind you that you've been listening to the podcast that is just too sweet.
For Rich and Runz, this is the host of Ring of Honor Wrestling, Ian Riccaboni, signing off. Be sure to join them next week for another episode of the Running Wild Podcast.